We've watched everything that was concerning about Kei'Mani Lateef. I thought that the next steps was getting justice for this little girl who was murdered by her father. Right here, I made sure that I got everything I could find that was pertinent to this young little girl. We watched Darnell Jones, her father, lying his ass off on TV. We then found out that Darnell Jones fled. Then we found him, shot, and unfortunately he was taken alive in police custody. We also seen that beautiful footage of that birthday memorial. Kei'Mani would have turned 14 that Friday on March 28th. So we seen everything. Then they stated that it would be a public and then a private funeral. We also know that one of Kei'Mani's aunts had spoke about a GoFundMe. And she said they do not need that. It was already taken care of. That a funeral home, around the way from them said that they would pay for everything. It was on them. So they did not need a GoFundMe. Now I see that there is a situation where Tiara Caston, that is Kei'Mani's mother, the mother that, gave her up when she was very young to a friend, and then that friend in turn had to, I think the court ordered for that child to then go into the grandmother's hands or the grandmother's best friend's hands. It seems like Kei'Mani at a very young age was bounced around from here to there, where she would end up settling with her grandmother, Dorothy Lateef, and her father would come by from time to time. And that's pretty much how they lived their life until we found out. So the mother wants to, for some reason, say in the burial of her deceased daughter. Now, if you remember, and it's all under Justice for Kei'Mani if you want to go back and look at some of those videos, but it seemed like, and this is what the aunt was saying, this is Tiara's sister, that she basically was there showing her new daughter off. Very young little girl. I think she's like 2 or 3. She was showing that daughter off and was trying to figure out why Dorothy was asking for child support, if I'm remembering correctly. It's almost like she wasn't really getting it, that your daughter is missing, and then she may be this person that is found in this creepy ass house right here. I mean, this is what I was getting from it. If you were getting something different, this is what I was getting. This is what I was seeing. But what I do know is that she did not have custody of Kei'Mani. She was not in Kei'Mani's life like a mother should be. So now she wants say in her death when she didn't even have say in her life. I know that a lot of people are disgusted by Dorothy Lateef's actions, but you have to get over it. She was not the person that killed Kei'Mani. It was her father. And you're going to also have to get over the fact that this was her father. Whether or not you think it was somebody else, this right here was the one that they are saying is her father. This right here is the one that Kei'Mani knew as her father. So there you go. This is her father, and this is her grandmother, and this is it. This is it. We can't rewrite history for this little girl now that she's deceased. And if we did, it wouldn't make a difference. She's still deceased. So it doesn't matter. So a lot of people don't care for Dorothy's character. I've even seen, little clips where they brought up her past. We all have a past. And she may have got arrested for this and that. And also the fact that, when Kei'Mani was alive, that CPS was involved. And Dorothy even stated to the news what was going on with that situation. She had visits from CPS twice, and that was it. And they brought up her past. And the reason why I didn't even decide to delve and look into that, because these situations were happening that were not domestic related. And Kei'Mani wasn't even born. So I didn't even bother to even bring that situation up. So the grandmother, how I felt, the grandmother, she was in her custody. Unfortunately, she passed away, but still in her custody. No matter how people feel about Dorothy Lateague, she did not murder Kei'Mani. The man that murdered Kei'Mani is currently in jail. So I felt that, yes, Dorothy should continue with seeing her granddaughter on out with the funeral. And it's just putting together the funeral. Again, they have it all paid for. There's a funeral home in Toledo that's paying for everything. So she's not going to pocket any money if that's what people are scared of, unless somebody just gives her condolence money out of their hand to her hand. And you can't stop that if that was to happen. So, and that also goes to the mother. Unless somebody gives her condolence money just to do it, that's up to them. But again, she wasn't even in her daughter's life. That's just the way I feel. I think in order for you to be in someone's involvement during their death, you should have been there during their life. It's just how I feel.
Questions still remain 2 weeks after the murder of a Toledo teen about the process to lay her to rest. A decision came out just a short time ago about who will have the right to plan Kei'Mani Lateague's funeral. Let's get right to Silver Barker, who is live from the probate court here in Lucas County. Silver?
Right, well, Mel, this hearing was really over Tiara Caston, the biological mother of Kei'Mani Lateague, and Dorothy Lateague, which is Kei'Mani's grandmother. Originally, the two were going back and forth about who would go forward with her remains and who would be planning the funeral services. The grandmother argued in which, because Kei'Mani has lived with her for the past 5 years, that she should be the one moving forward and planning the funeral services. She argued that having her live in the house with her every day, sending her to school, and the close personal relationship of them over Tiara was more important, in which way she should be able to say what goes forward and what happens next. However, Tiara, which appeared virtually today, was able to talk about her relationship with Kei'Mani. She says that she hasn't seen Kei'Mani since her 11th birthday before this. However, she did have a relationship with her at that time in which she would visit her twice a year and really try to come see her and build that relationship. Now, ultimately, the judge did decide based on 2 factors. The first factor was how close each relationship was with Kei'Mani, in which I just told you how Tiara was saying her relationship was with Kei'Mani, as well along with how Dorothy was saying her relationship was with Kei'Mani. Now, the second one comes with practicality of plans moving forward with funeral services, in which that was who would be doing what exactly and what were the plans that Kei'Mani's grandmother Dorothy had, along with what were the plans that Tiara Caston, her mother, had. Now, originally, the grandmother did win the decision of moving forward with funeral services. There is a public funeral service they're planning. It has not been said yet with more details, but they are planning to have one this Friday, and there will be a private one as well. There is a date for that as well, which we are not going to disclose just out of respect for them, but the public one they are planning to have Friday.